Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Sepang International Circuit for the Malaysia Championship Series.
Well, this Lord Siri moved me, and I am down by the safety car. like the grandstand is providing us.
Well, welcome one. Well, welcome one, welcome all to a very wet and very rainy Sepang International Circuit for race 6 of the Thai Super Series by B-Quik. We have had a big rain delay here at the circuit. Monsoon weather has been moving through the region, and we've had a very long break in the on-track action, but race control and everyone else involved in the organization of this event has decided it is now time to get the action going for the second race of the Super Series, with our supercar categories all racing together for a single race of 1 hour plus 1 lap. Bringing it to you all live here on the English commentary. It's me, Reese Gardner. Dan Yeaman is alongside me in the comms box and helping to bring you all the feed from the track here today. Big thanks to the crew at Sepang International Circuit for bringing us all of these pictures as well. Dan, it's been a long wait, but finally, we're going to get it going here for race 2. Yeah, indeed we are. The spectators have obviously been sticking it out here in the middle of that monsoonal weather, and if you've all been tuning in to the other streams over the course of the day, you know how difficult the conditions are out there. There was loads of standing water on the racetrack before, and there's likely to be for some time to come. The rain has not let up. We've currently got a bit of a storm cell coming over the circuit at the moment, so plenty of trouble and plenty of difficulty out there on the track at the moment. But I'm sure the drivers will be well capable of handling that. At least we hope so, with the Hankook rain tyres being strapped to these cars very shortly. So I suppose for the time being, Dan, we should go over the plan of action here. We're hearing from race direction that it's going to just be a single recon lap, then a short stop, and then we'll be going straight into running behind the safety car for the start of the race. So things are going to get started very quickly. And remember, the starting grid for this race is going to be defined by the results from qualifying 2 yesterday, which means we're going to have a little bit more of a mixed up grid than what we saw yesterday. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on any further action on the track. The plan is in about 3 minutes time to get the cars out of pit lane. The pit exit will open at 1:30 Malaysian time, and yeah, basically the bottom of the hour wherever you may be. Douglas Koo there in the number 65 Mercedes, part of the Supercar GT3 category, already making his way to pit exit here. Ready for the call to make his way out of pit lane, and I'm certainly hoping that this race is going to go down simply and without further incident, but it is very treacherous out there as things stand.
Yeah, it is. Oh, there we go. Now I should be coming through with everyone else. Sorry about that. Folks, there was a period there where Reece stopped talking, and that was meant to be me chatting in the background. So I can now see I should be transmitting. I'll probably get confirmation from somebody who's watching along in the background in a second. But yeah, pit exit opens up in about 1.5 minutes time. And yeah, hopefully try and get this one underway. So hopefully get our full hour in. And indeed, I am coming through as expected.
Excellent, excellent.
So yeah, it is going to be a question in the chat about whether this race, we don't know yet. All we know so far is they just need to get out there on the recon lap. Do that. Park at the grid for formality for a second. and get the race start procedure done as quickly as possible today, because the rain is still coming down, I do believe, a little bit, although these angles here suggest maybe it's very light now. And we just need to get cars out on track if there's a chance of it drying up through literally running around the circuit today to help with that procedure, of course.
Yeah, I'm looking at a weather radar on my end, and it does look like there's a few spots of very heavy rainfall approaching Sepang from the southeast. So we may or may not get an extra little downpour once the cars get moving, but for the time being, the track is dry enough that we can potentially bring the cars out in just a moment's time. Marshals at the moment making sure that everything is in order. Red flags still being held at the end of pit lane as further cars come out. We see our GTM Porsche 992 Cup coming out, as well as the Team NZ machine of Graham Dowsett, I believe, at the wheel of that one at the moment, making his way to the grid in the number 7 alongside the Team AAI number 91. Got to remember, there's going to be a result that has potential to be backed up here by the second of the AAI BMWs, which is just pulling up at the back of the dummy grid there. A fantastic drive yesterday from Jesse Krohn and Chunhua Chen in the 91 to take an emphatic victory in the somewhat much drier race yesterday. I'm wondering if they'll be able to keep the same pace going here as the cars have been released from pit lane. It is time for the recon lap, and this is where we're going to get the first clue as to what these conditions are really like.
Yeah, well, we've seen it with the Hankook Tire Nissan's 370Z safety car. But yeah, now the cars can head out onto the circuit and we'll hopefully get a read for what it is like out there on the track for racing conditions. And yeah, fingers crossed indeed that we are going to be all right for this one today. That would be important, of course, to getting this race off, as you said. So, yeah, rain wipers, lights, and all the bells and whistles on here as the drivers start trying to figure out what they've got. Hopefully, because with the 24-car grid here, there's potential to help dry this track out in due course, if it doesn't then rain down harder and undo that progress.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's always that possibility, isn't there? It's always great potential for further downpours. Sepang International Circuit, over its 25 years, celebrating a quarter century of existence this year, has very quickly become notorious for the various inclement weather incidents that have plagued it over the years. I mean, anyone who's familiar with this region of the world knows that when the monsoons come, they will come thick and fast, and it's very difficult to predict exactly what the weather's going to do. But regardless, seeing the cars already trying to work some extra heat into their tires and try and clear some water off the circuit, it's in a lot better shape than it was earlier on when we were in the midst of that rain delay, though. So we're obviously waiting with bated breath to see just how treacherous the conditions are. Looking at the amount of spray coming off the back of the GT3s, though, I think it's going to be tough to say the least.
I mean, yeah, they can have all the rain tires they want. They can have all of your bells and whistles for the GT cars, at least. These guys, I believe actually all of them will have traction control and ABS, at least I would think so. Even for some of our GTM cars like the Porsche Cup car, which do run in configurations without any driver aids. So I think, given the other cars in the category of Super Trofeo and Ferrari Challenge, that'd be one thing, those driver aids here today. But yeah, if the drivers all stay packed up, that'll make things very interesting. Treacherous, for sure. But that will be part of what we get to hopefully see, and hopefully see the good parts of it here in the next couple of minutes.
Yes, so the plan, of course, is for that single recon lap. However, judging by the amount of spray and the amount of water that's still on the circuit, obviously it'd be Oh, hang on a minute. I'm looking at the reflections and the headlight beams of the Supra there on the racetrack, and I'm still seeing quite a few raindrops actually hitting the circuit there. Doesn't quite come across on the TV cameras, but rest assured, it is still raining here at Sepang.
You can see it there in the foreground, off the background of the actual the track fencing on the inside to the turn 15 there. So, but apparently it's just good enough to get this race started, or at least try for a race start.
It will be a rolling start, as it was yesterday. Whether or not they bring the safety car back out to run laps behind the safety car remains to be seen, and that'll obviously, depending on when that happens, if that happens, it'll end up affecting the pit stops for the teams as well. It's going to run roughly the same as it did yesterday. Pit window will open with 25 minutes complete and close with 25 minutes to go in the race on the 1 hour timer. And while the safety car is out, the window for pitting is paused. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how the teams tackle this. And I think we're just going to be, well, to use a driving term, we're just going to be driving the metaphorical racetrack in front of us as the drivers are driving the literal racetrack right in front of them. I think this race is going to be a slow-moving feast, and it's going to be changing quite a lot as time goes on.
Yeah, you can see here him just going to get everyone in place, try and make sure, get this procedural stuff all done as soon as we can, and then be able to try and get a start for this one here. And yeah, really tackle the unknown. I don't think they've run in wet conditions this weekend, because as we said, qualifying yesterday morning was dry, I believe. Practice on Friday was dry. The rain came between qualifying and the race. It had dried up to the point where they were on slick tyres all of yesterday afternoon for race 5 of the championship. So this, I do believe, unless the drivers have raced here in the wet previously, this will be first time experience for many of them this weekend at the very minimum, let alone potentially first time period.
Yeah, and well, Sepang is a difficult enough circuit to drive in dry conditions. Imagine what it's like when there's standing water on the racetrack and constant cold, damp atmosphere. There's plenty of fast corners around this place, particularly the run through turn 3, then going through turns 5 and 6, where we saw quite a few incidents, including a problem for the number 27 Audi on the right-hand side of the screen just there. And in qualifying, and also the number 12 Honda NSX, which is starting on the front row there, the blue and yellow car on your left side of the grid from our perspective. Yeah, we had some considerable offs yesterday, and I'm slightly concerned that we're going to be seeing some of that eventuate again today, maybe in worse circumstances.
Maybe indeed, but I think thankfully the worst of what we saw was limited by the big incident in qualifying for number 27 B-Quik Absolute Racing Audi R8 GT3. Seeing here a gap on the grid there amongst the GT3 cars. Now we're missing the 89, the second of the Singer Motorsport Team Thailand Honda NSXs. So that's who we're missing from the GT3 field. We're only down to just one out of the Honda stable. Say the number 12 sitting there on, pardon me, pole position for this race. With Kansas Kasiri, who'll be starting the car as driver number 2 for that vehicle. Let's see what he can do in this race. And arguably, if there was a race where you needed your better driver starting, this is probably it, Reese, in terms of letting the driver rated higher or designated the second driver to take care of starting in the trickiest of the conditions that we've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Yeah, I was looking at the official starting grid document earlier, and I do notice that the number 89 is shown as starting in 5th place. But yeah, as you can see, there's no sign of that second Honda NSX. It is still in the pit lane, and I believe, and we're not quite sure exactly why. Maybe there was some troubles getting the car prepared for the race start. We'll obviously bring you that information if and when it comes to light, but everyone's cleared the grid now. We just have the vehicles waiting for the call here for the safety car to pull away. And well, there's going to be some big action happening here, just preparing in the final few seconds for the start of this race. And it's going to be a start behind the safety car from race control. So we're not going to be seeing some out-and-out racing just yet. Evidently just running a few extra laps here behind the safety car just to allow the track to be cleared of water just a little more.
And, oh,
hang on.
yeah,
What's going on there?
I've just seen a message. I've just seen a message come through from race control, and I think we're seeing it here on screen. They had just issued the safety car start, but I believe it's been an update that's come through. And as you can see from the marshals on the circuit, unfortunately, folks, just as we'd prepared to hopefully see a race start, a message from the race director that due to safety concerns raised by the drivers, they have made the decision here on the grid to at this time abandon the race start and potentially cancel the race outright.
That's such a shame. That is big news here, and a real disappointment. But it's completely understandable. I mean, we saw on that recon lap just how much spray was being thrown up, and just how little grip there was out there on the circuit. The drivers obviously have to look out for their own safety here, and I think a prescient decision by them to raise those concerns with race control and potentially abandon the second race of the weekend here at Sepang, race 6 of the Super Series by B-Quik. There's the official confirmation there. Due to safety concerns raised by the drivers, race 2 has been cancelled. So we will not be going racing today in the Thailand Super Series by B-Quik.
Yeah, we were hoping we might get some move. The fact the rain hasn't really stopped since we've been broadcasting here today. And so, yeah, these are GT3 cars, GT4 cars. And yes, that means they've got driver aids like traction control and anti-lock brakes. But we're still talking about cars that can deliver a high speed potential. And even on wet weather tyres, such as the tyres provided here by Hankook for the series, that could easily be treacherous. And also the nature of the circuit, where puddles may be forming around this place. So indeed, unfortunately, cars back into the pit lane. And with that there, unfortunately, our preparations and hopes of getting a race start are quashed for this afternoon race.
Yeah, so I suppose now we can move straight on to looking forward to the next races in the championship as the action at Sepang is going to end now. It's got to be disappointing though, just in a competitive sense. I mean, obviously the drivers will be glad that their concerns have been heard and that we're not going to be going racing in these treacherous conditions. But it's an opportunity for championship points. It's an opportunity to go out there, have a race, promote their sponsors, and just due to Mother Nature, it's not going to come to anything.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I guess it's a shame because we were sitting here hoping we get a chance to get a race started. But yeah, it's just the nature of what's going to be happening. And also, I think part of it is that we're now so far behind schedule that we can't keep waiting forever. Unfortunately, there are other races that are scheduled for today as part of this Malaysia Championship Series weekend, and they'll be wanting to have a chance to start those as well. So yeah, for those who, as you see here on screen, the drivers have completed one out lap or sighting lap to the grid from the pit lane, and based on their reports of how the situation is on track, the race race 6 of the championship, race 2 of the weekend has been cancelled here from TSS, the Super Series by B-Quik. And with that race, I guess unfortunately leaves us... well, I'm seeing here a message. Maybe we might not want to go away straight away.
Okay, so we'll hang around for a little bit longer here and see if there's any further developments. For the time being, it looks like all vehicles, all race vehicles have now been cleared off the grid. You can see just how heavy the rain is. I mean, I can't imagine, you know, the few people that are out there in raincoats obviously staying dry, but many team personnel there getting absolutely drenched at the moment. And I think that number 39 Toyota Supra, sorry, that's not the 39, it's the 19, the last car to be cleared from the grid. So we're still waiting on some extra information on how things are going to go from here. But for now, race 2 still being cancelled for the time being. There's a possibility that there'll be further developments to come, so stay with us for a moment. It looks like indeed the Team NZ Aston Martin last car to be cleared off the grid, and that just leaves the safety car sitting alone and forlorn on the back straight.
I think with that race, we'll pause our chit-chat here for a second. I'll put the message back up on screen for those who are watching along. Well, let's say it is here on screen static. So what we'll do is we'll leave the feed up for now, as is. We've been told to stand by and wait on perhaps a final update or confirmation of the plan for the afternoon. But at this stage, yeah, folks, I don't expect we'll be doing much more broadcasting or racing action. But if you wish to stay with us in the background, keep it here, and we'll be back with you verbally to confirm what we'll be doing in the next little bit.
Well, everybody, we have gotten some extra information in the background here from the crews getting everything together at Sepang International Circuit. You can see that the rain is getting so much worse here. Look at the amount of standing water the safety car is pushing aside, and it is getting no better. Race 2, of course, has been cancelled if you are just joining us. Safety concerns have been raised by the drivers due to the absolutely treacherous weather conditions, and we are going to be ending our live coverage of the Super Series by B-Quik here on all language broadcasts, I believe. At the very least, us here on the English broadcast will be saying goodbye for now. But Dan, we are not going to be ending our full coverage of the Thailand Super Series for the year. Of course, the next event is going to be taking place on the 23rd to 25th of August, and it's going to be at the Chang International Circuit, where Super Pickup, Super Compact, and Super Eco will be racing for that weekend.
Yeah, indeed. So a slow start to the year with first weekend in May, second weekend in July, 2 weekends here in August. So the second weekend for Super Pickup, Super Compact, Super Eco. So we get a couple of races in. We hope for the race at Chang, as I said, in 2 weeks' time. And then looking just a little bit further ahead again after that, GT3, GTM, GT4, and believe GTC. No, yes, GTC will be included. They'll all be returning here to Sepang on the weekend of Friday the 6th through Sunday the 8th of September. So those are the next 2 race weekends to keep an eye out for. Whilst unfortunately we would have loved to have seen the racing here if there was a chance of it being safe enough to race, as you can see now, it is bucketing down, Reese, and unfortunately even with all of the bits and pieces that go into a modern race car, this is definitely looking too much to be able to safely race with everyone in the field.
Yeah, well, we do send our apologies to all of you out there around the world watching this live broadcast, hoping for some racing action here today. But Mother Nature, of course, has had different ideas, and we must bend to her will in the end. So keep your eyes peeled on social media, on official channels, and on the Thailand Super Series website as well. You can get more information on what is to come in the championship. Reminder, the next event is going to be at Chang International Circuit from the 23rd to 25th of August, and we'll be going back to Sepang for the GT categories in the first week of September. So with all of that said and done, we want to thank you for sticking with us here on the official English broadcast for the Thailand Super Series by B-Quik. I'm Reese Gardner, Dan Yeaman alongside me in the comms box, and we'll hopefully see you in a couple of weeks' time.